Hi, my name's Daryl, and here's your Jeep news for August 3rd. So my first story for today, I want to talk about the new 2026 Wrangler. So it has been confirmed that the 2026 is available for order. This actually comes to us from our friends at Dirt Road Cred. Here's the video. Two of the things that are new about the Wrangler for sure are two new colors. So the PurpleReign color is available, and this is what it looks like. So this is the exact color. They actually have the color code, has pretty large flakes in it, so it should be just an absolutely beautiful color. This is actually one of the colors that we were considering for our Wrangler when we purchased it, but I thought it was only available on JKs, but I guess it was available on some JLs as well, early in the JL production. Also, this Goldilocks color, and they've got an image of it. They think that this is what it's going to look like, and it's actually the color of the Wrangler that they want to get, assuming that the price is going to be right. Now, the only thing about ordering right now of the 2026 that's not on Jeep's website, if you go to your dealer, you can actually order it, but the pricing isn't available. So yeah, you probably don't want to order your Wrangler unless you know what price it's going to be. As part of the video, one of the things that the Dirt Road Cred folks talked about was some of the things that they would like to see in regards to the 2026 Wrangler. And so that got me thinking, what would I like to see? And so I kind of came up with a list. So I'd be really interested if you agree with this list, or if you would like to add something to it, or you think something different. But here's my list. So first of all, I would like to see the MSRP be lowered for 2026. Now, the Ford Bronco, I've actually got a story right at the end here. You know, they've been steadily increasing or kind of cutting into the Jeep Wrangler sales. They reduced the Ford Bronco Raptor by $10,000. So I think Jeep has to look at that and also has to be considering lowering the MSRP on the Jeep Wranglers. You know, especially the Rubicon. The Rubicon can get relatively expensive. If they bring back the 392, certainly reducing the price of that as well, I think would be really important, as well as just the base Wrangler, lowering that by, you know, maybe $5,000 or so. And so, yeah, they can do that without having to make any other changes. Now, the other thing that they can do is they can increase the warranty on the Wrangler. You know, that's something that's been problematic about the Wrangler. There's been certain problems with the vehicle. Now that we have a new CEO in place, I think they need to do some things to reassure the public and the consumers that they stand behind their product. They did that with the Ram trucks, right? So for 2026, they increased the warranty on Ram trucks to a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. So I really think that they should do something similar on the Wrangler, and I think that would, you know, give them a heads up on the up-and-coming Bronco, and I think it would reassure and really help with sales. So if they could do a combination on lowering the pricing and also increasing the warranty, I think that would do a lot to bring Stellantis and the Jeep, you know, kind of back to the forefront. The other thing I would really like to see them do is address the corrosion issue, either with a permanent fix to the corrosion issue, or by increasing the corrosion warranty, because currently the corrosion warranty is only for 5 years, 60,000 miles. And so, you know, a lot of times the corrosion starts a little bit after that, and once that corrosion starts, it doesn't stop. I would really like to see, now this is going to be, I think, would probably be for the 2027 year, but to add the 5.7 liter V8. They could, I mean, I think they could do it relatively simple. There's got to be obviously some pretty good changes in regards to supporting that 5.7 liter V8, but they already have, what is it, the 6.4, 392 Rubicon available, so I don't see why they couldn't make some modifications and put the 5.7 liter V8 in the standard Wrangler, and not charge a crazy exorbitant upcharge for that 5.7 liter V8 above the 3.6. And the last is fixing the 4xe. So they've had a lot of issues with the 4xe. I think initially when the 4xe came out, it had a 10-year, 100,000 mile warranty on the battery. and those 4xe hybrid components. I would like to see that go back up to 10-year, 100,000 miles, along with the other increases in warranty. You know, there is going to be some changes to the 4xe for the 2026 model year. So they do have a new plug-in hybrid transmission that's going to increase the horsepower and torque, as well as increasing the range. So I would like to see also an increase in range in regards to the 4xe as well. So that's my wish lists for the 2026 Wrangler. I'm really interested in what you would like to see. So yeah, please add your comments in the comment section to let me know. Now, in my second news story, this is about the Stellantis CEO praising Donald Trump's or the new administration's big, beautiful bill. So Stellantis has been really kind of destroyed. They took a loss of $2.7 billion so far this year. You know, a lot of it has to do with the reduced sales. Some of it has to do with the tariffs that have been put in place. But the big, beautiful bill, in a lot of respects, can help Stellantis, because one of the things that the big, beautiful bill does, so let's scroll down. He's saying the big, beautiful bill serves up as an opportunity for cheaper cars while generating more profit. I don't really care about more profit for Stellantis, but I do care about cheaper cars. So how the bill helps is in regards to the CAFE standards. And so the CAFE standards are basically the corporate average fuel economy, and that has gone away. And so Stellantis is kind of free to put whatever engines that they want into their automobiles. So yeah, what I said with the 5.7 liter V8 for the Jeep Wrangler, there's really no reason for them to not go whole hog and put it in as many Wranglers as they can, because they're not going to be penalized anymore. So they can produce those relatively cheaply, you know, have some sort of upcharge. I don't think there's that much of a difference between the 3.6 Penestar and the 5.7 liter V8 as far as manufacturing costs, but they can do a little bit of an upcharge and make the consumer so happy. So yeah, Stellantis has got a real good opportunity now, you know, since they have, you know, their past, you know, they've really capitalized on horsepower wars and, you know, the mighty V8. And so they're able to do that with a lot of their automobiles while also increasing profitability and making consumers real happy. So yeah, I found that really interesting. Now, this is really great news. So if you don't know about the Penestar Tick, so that has really plagued the Jeep Wrangler ever since 2012 when that Penestar V6 was introduced. So if you don't know, that Penestar was introduced in 2012 for the JK as an upgrade to the 3.8 liter straight six. One of the problems that they had with that V6 was in regards to the rocker arms. So there's a common problem with the V6 Penestars in regards to the rocker arms having to be replaced and causing problems with the lobes and the cam, which kind of rounds them out a little bit, can get metal into the engine and can cause all kinds of problems, which requires them to replace the cam as well as the rocker arms. Now, in 2013, I believe, mid-2014, they actually replaced the rocker arms with the new model. And a lot of the problems that plagued that 3.6 Penestar sort of went away for a little while. They introduced a brand new Penestar with the JL in 2018, and I was hoping a lot of the problems with that Penestar engine and the Penestar Tick had gone away, but seems like it didn't. So the problems have came back. In fact, if you try to purchase cams because you have a problem with the rocker arms that caused a problem with the cam, and you try to purchase them from a dealer right now, they're actually out of stock because so many of them are going wrong. Well, they just introduced a TSB in regards to this issue. So here's an article talking about the Penestar V6, and Stellantis has isolated the cause of these problems, which is a worn intake camshaft load or intake rocker and slider wear. So here's the TSB, and basically they have a fix for it, which includes a kit for replacing both the cam as well as the rocker arms. And so here is the TSB right here. So it's really nice that Jeep and Stellantis has acknowledged the problem, and they do have a fix available. I'm hoping for the 2026 model year. You can see this is actually applies to 2019 through 2025 Ram 1500 pickups. In regards to the Wrangler and Gladiator, it applies to 2018 through 2025. So hopefully for the 2026 model, now that they have a kit for replacing the cam as well as the rocker arms, hopefully they've addressed this issue for good and it won't come back anymore. But that's something that you should know about. So if you do get a diagnostic trouble code, or if you do hear that famous Penestar Tick, make sure you get it to your dealer. Now they're saying that typically it happens between 5,000 and 60,000 miles. Now, typically they say it happens between 10,000 and 60,000 miles. Unfortunately, if you get it past that 60,000 miles, because this isn't a recall, it's basically a TSB, it's likely not to be covered under warranty, but depending on, how many of these failures they have, it could be that it ends up being a recall issue. The last news story I have is kind of positive news. It's about the Ford Bronco. And the Wrangler is still beating the Ford Bronco in regards to sales volume. There's a nice little video about it. It talks about some of the changes in regards to pricing that they made on the Ford Bronco, how sales have gone. The video basically says that there's been 72,000 sales year to date for the first half of 2025 for the Ford Bronco, and there's been 85,000 sales of the Jeep Wrangler. So we're still up by $13,000, but unfortunately, year after year, the Bronco continues to kind of gain market share over the Wrangler. So I'm hoping maybe some of these changes that I'm hoping happen for 2026 will kind of stem the tide of the Bronco coming back and possibly gaining market share on the Wrangler. But we'll see for 2026. Of course, Jeep and Stellantis has been very quiet about any changes coming for 2026. I'm really hoping that they're kind of assessing everything at this point and hopefully making some really nice changes for the 2026 model year. This is Daryl with your Jeep News, and hope to see you in the next one again very soon.